Hi, sorry about that. I had to cut that video then. If you haven't seen it, it's just basically a here I am now about to set off on a journey type of video. And I didn't want it to be this is my story type of video, which is what this one pretty much will be. So for those of you who are watching, you're interested in how I started in self-employment and how I got to the point of now starting my journey as a writer. Um, I had a time in retail. It was like when I left school, I met my wife, we had kids, and I had a 15 years in retail customer service. I learned a lot of skills. I learned how to communicate to people. I learned how to listen to people, and I feel as an adult that's a absolutely crucial skill is to listen and communicate effectively. I met so many people in my life recently who just don't communicate, who want to get their point across, want to say what they want to say, and that is it. They have no interest in what you want to say. They have no patience for listening. They'll just commentate over what you're saying. For me, that's bullying. That's not really adult behavior. It's childish. And so for them type of people, I'm concerning myself with them. I just put them out of my life. I learned a lot in retail, as I said. But one thing I learned is that the career I had, the job I had, was giving me this type of lifestyle that I did not want for my family. I wanted to be able to take my children and my wife away on holiday. I wanted to be able to have no money worries. I wanted a lot more. And I watched this film in 2013 that changed my life. It made me realize something I already kind of knew, but it gave me that motivation to do something about it. And I'm not going to tell you what the film is, okay? Um, and so I did something about it. I decided to leave my job and go into self-employment. And it was the best thing I ever did and almost the worst thing that ever happened to me as well, because for reasons you'll find out. But I realized that, what the company was giving me in 2013 was a small pellet, like chicken feed, to what they were making overall. And I needed to make my own money in order to define my own lifestyle, because whatever they were paying me, my lifestyle was living under that umbrella that they gave me. And I realized that when I left there, when I retired, when I'm older, my money's going to go down even more, which means my lifestyle is going to get worse. That scared me. It's like I've got to be making my own money for my own retirement and for my family and my loved ones. So I decided in 2013 jack in the job and go within self-employment. And I was lucky at the time because the government at the time were helping people get into self-employment. They were setting people up. They were giving them grants. And I remember going into the, uh, the office of the council, and they were helping me set up in self-employment. And so they sat me down and they said, right, Adam, what can you do? What's your idea? And I had come up with this great idea for a business. And it was a bit lavish, okay. So and to be honest, I've never seen this happen. So it's still a business opportunity for somebody. But basically, it's a cafe, two-story building cafe, and the basics of it is downstairs you've got a small cafe at the front, and then a gallery at the back, and the gallery has photos and paintings in it, and then there's a midsection with books, and then the cafe at the front where people can sit and read or look out the window or just chat, and then upstairs is another cafe, another area for coffee or tea, and then there's like a stage at the back where two musicians can play music live, and a small section just for dance or whatever. And then the other coffee shop just above. So you can sit there, listen to the music, have a chat with your friends, and drink tea or coffee. Now, the idea of everything that you see in there is what's been created by the local artists. So there's local artists singing and playing their music, and then their CDs are available to buy. There's local authors who have wrote books, and they're available to purchase from the cafe. Are photographers and painters. Their pictures are hanging on the walls, which are available to purchase, and it's all there to support the local artists, the creative artists. And when I put the proposal forward, my mentor said, well, how much do you think it's going to cost to bring this to reality? And I went, well, I don't know, about 75,000. I reckon I can do this for 75,000. I mean, I remember even going to a place in Chester who, they lease out a estate agency. And I said, listen, if I get the government to back me, can you give me free rent for a year and you have a percentage of what we take in exchange for a year's rent, and then I'll start paying rent because I'll build up an income. And I got an email back, right? This is how much brass I had back then. But I had an email back saying, we are willing to deduct a 5% on the rent for you, which, is something that they've never done for anybody else if you get the government to back yourself, And I was like, well, that's a win for me. Cool. 5% reduction on rent rates. Okay. And when I had my interview and they said, listen, this idea is just too big, 75 grand is nothing compared to what you'll need to get it going with the rent and everything, why don't you take one aspect of that and we can help you become self-employed with it? And I was like, well, what can I do? And I did photography as a hobby. I've played the piano from hearing it, and then I just play it. So I've learned that from ear. What can I do? And it's like, can I be a musician or can I be a photographer? And for me, I don't think I can sing. People have told me I can, but I don't think I can. So musician was like, I don't think I can make it as a musician, but I'll try it as a photographer. So I set myself up as a photographer. 2013, launched my business. For the following year and a half, 18 months, I slowly, climbing the ladder. I just started getting my name out there. It was called Smile Pictures, I think. The website might still be up and running. And I just started getting clients. I did all types of photography. I did weddings. I did business promotion. I did pets, portraits, all types of photography. And I started to get a collection of clients in. So I know I was getting better. And I mean, looking back now, like the equipment I was using was just laughable. They were professional cameras, but it's like, it's what I'd collected at that point. And when the government said that they would help me, they said that there was a £3,000 grant available that I would get. And I'm thinking, great, I'll update all my equipment with that. Turns out to only be £300. So, and that really just basically paid for the admin, to set the website up, to set the business name up and everything. So, but anyway, I set out, I started doing the work in the business and getting the name out there, and I had success. And I got to the point actually where I was able to work in partnership with somebody else and open up a studio, in 2015. And, my photography was just a startup, but I'd gotten to the point where I could afford to build a studio. So I did. And that's where I learned my first lesson in 2015. Pick your joint ventures carefully. I ended up losing that studio because of my partnership. I picked the wrong person and I lost it. I also, and this is where I said about it being the worst thing, the self-employment, I lost my wife and I lost my family, I felt at the time, because me and my wife had broken up, marriage had broken down, and I moved out, and I really was at a low point at that time because I was just building a studio, which that came crashing down about 3 months later. So I had to get over that. I had to build myself back up. I had to pick myself back up. And, luckily I was surrounded by people who were supportive to me, people who helped me. And in 2016, I just started again. In this time, I did it under my own name, Adam J. Pestridge Photography, which still runs today. But I also added another element to that because I thought photography might not be enough on its own. I could do wedding videos. I could do business promotional videos. I have a complete upgrade of all my equipment now, so I can afford a lot more to do. So I started a film company, Portrait Films Limited, which still runs today. And I started doing business promotional videos, and I even got in contact with one of my favorite authors as a kid and, proposed to turn their run of books into a TV series. and they at first accepted and said, send us your proposal in. So I sent my proposal in, and they were getting very excited about it. And it got to a point where I had to film a demo. So I got together a bunch of people and I started to film that demo. And things changed the following year. We're up to like 2016 now, and things for the next year changed. And I'm gonna cut the video here, and I'm gonna talk about that change in the next video. So if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link below so you can just go straight ahead to the next one. And thanks for watching this one, and thanks for seeing my journey so far. And if you want to see it finished, then check out the next video, and I'll see you then. Bye.